Listen closely. Don't scroll. Don't look away. Because what you're about to hear is not ordinary. This isn't just a word, it's a divine alert. You've been praying for answers. You've been sensing something wasn't right. You've been asking God to reveal what's hidden. And now, the answer has come. Heaven is sounding an alarm over your life, and it's attached to a single letter. Yes, someone in your life whose name begins with that letter has now become spiritually significant. This could be Robert, Rebecca, Rachel, Raymond, Raquel, Richard. It may be someone close, a friend, a mentor, a colleague, even a family member. But whoever they are, they're now part of a spiritual equation that cannot be ignored. This message is not to cause panic. It's to activate your discernment. Because God sees what you do not. He hears what was said behind closed doors. And when heaven steps in like this, it means something behind the scenes is shifting fast. Have you felt it? That unease when they speak. That inner tension when you're around them. A moment of hesitation you couldn't explain. A look, a question, a pattern you brushed off as normal, but your spirit wouldn't let go of it. That wasn't your imagination. That was God whispering. You've been around this person, maybe for years. You've laughed with them, trusted them, and yet something doesn't feel quite right anymore. And now God says, the person whose name starts with R is no longer just someone you know. They have become a spiritual gate. And I need you to see clearly what I'm about to reveal. Because what's at stake is not your comfort, it's your calling. This person may be connected to a delay. They may be unknowingly or intentionally assigned to detour your next breakthrough. God isn't trying to scare you. He's trying to save you from the unseen. Not every danger is obvious. Some of the most dangerous people were the face of familiarity. Sometimes the one who asks, "Are you okay?" is actually tracking your wounds. Sometimes the one who smiles at your success is the very one undermining your stability. And this person, the one marked by the R, may be carrying something you were never meant to inherit. Don't assume betrayal only comes from enemies. Some of the most painful wounds are inflicted by those who once stood beside us in battle. But God is revealing it now, because it's your season to separate from spiritual sabotage. This isn't about hate. It's about protection. This isn't a call to slander. It's a call to discernment. Heaven has watched. The angels have witnessed. And the alert has been sounded. Child of God, this isn't just about a person. It's about a path. A turning point is coming. And if you remain tied to someone whose heart no longer aligns with God's will for your journey, you risk dragging their storm into your promise. But today, God speaks, not with panic, not with confusion, but with clarity and timing. The one with the letter R, watch. Pray. Listen. Their name is not being revealed to you for curiosity, but for strategy. Because in the next chapter of your life, the wrong alliance could cause a costly delay. But with this warning comes protection. And with this insight comes peace. This is the beginning of the revelation. Stay with me. Let's go deeper. You already know something has fell off, but you didn't have a language. You couldn't quite explain it. You gave the benefit of the doubt again and again. But now, God says, I saw what your heart couldn't. I heard what your ears never caught. I discerned what your trust tried to overlook. This is the season where God is no longer allowing his chosen ones to walk blindfolded by emotional attachment. Because you've carried someone in your circle who has quietly been sent as a delay. That name starting with R. It's not random. It's not coincidence. It's a spiritual marker. And heaven has been watching. You may not know the why yet, but God does. And now he reveals it, not to embarrass that person, but to elevate you out of entanglement. Here's what you need to understand. Some people are sent, and some people are positioned. They don't even realize they're operating as a distraction. They may even think they're helping, but their presence in your life is carrying weight you weren't built to hold. This person with the letter R, they carry one of two energies. A hidden jealousy wrapped in fake celebration, a spirit of confusion sent to distort your vision. Watch the patterns. Do they get quieter when you succeed? Do they celebrate you in public, but criticize you in private? Do they always seem to know just enough about your life to feel connected, but not enough to be truly trusted? These are not just personality flaws. These are prophetic signs. And the reason this person has come under divine attention now is because they're standing too close to something sacred in your life, your next elevation. You may have wondered, why do I feel uneasy around them? Why do I dream about them? But the dreams feel heavy. Why do I sense God pulling me away? Even though nothing's technically wrong, that's because angels assigned to your destiny are creating distance. You're being spiritually unentangled. And not because this person is evil, but because they're no longer aligned with where God is taking you. And that misalignment, it can cost you more than time. It can cost you peace. It can cost you momentum. It can cost you revelation that was meant for you, not to be filtered through the wrong ears. The angelic realm is not emotional. It's strategic. When God is about to release something major, he always clears the path. Remember Abraham and Lot? Lot wasn't evil, but he wasn't part of the promise. And so, separation was required for elevation. Don't let guilt keep you silent. Don't let loyalty blind you to reality. What you're sensing isn't suspicion, it's discernment. You've been asking God for answers, and this is his response. It's time to stop apologizing for the spiritual clarity you carry. Because what you feel in your spirit isn't drama, it's data. God didn't call you to walk blindly. He called you to walk boldly. And boldness sometimes looks like silent distance, like boundaries, like obeying a divine warning, even when your heart doesn't fully understand yet. Here's what to watch for over the next 7 days. Random tension with this person that seems to come out of nowhere, a conversation where they reveal something they weren't supposed to know, a moment where your spirit feels heavy around their presence, a recurring dream, message, or image that triggers their name. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. And God is doing this not to shame them, but to set you free. You've been carrying spiritual weight that was never yours. Now heaven is lifting it. This person marked with R may have been loyal in the past, but they can no longer walk with you into the next. God is not just protecting your present. He's guarding your future assignment. Stay grounded, stay discerning, and most of all, stay obedient. Let's go deeper into the mystery. You've been sensing something about them. That person whose name starts with R. And now, you know why. They were not random. Their presence was not casual. Their entrance into your life was part of a larger spiritual blueprint. But now the blueprint is shifting. Every person in your life plays one of 3 roles: a divine assignment, a seasonal lesson, a spiritual distraction, and this individual, the one who seems so present, so trustworthy, so close, is now being reevaluated by heaven. Because God is not only preparing you for breakthrough, he's preparing you for clarity. And clarity always comes before divine elevation. You didn't want to believe it. You convinced yourself it was just your imagination. You called it overthinking. You said, they mean well. But your spirit never agreed. And now it's clear. There's been a pattern. A subtle interruption to your peace. An unease around your goals. Moments where they didn't celebrate your wins, only tolerated them. Comments that carried a strange weight and left you wondering. That wasn't confusion. That was discernment sharpening your vision. God allowed this pattern to go unnoticed for a time, to test your obedience. But now the veil has lifted. You're being given a chance to see with spiritual eyes what the natural world disguised as normal. This person, they may not have plotted to sabotage you, but they become a vessel of interference. And heaven does not take interference lightly. God is now asking you to discern which of these 3 spiritual roles this person marked by R occupies in your life. They love you, yes, but their insecurities have made your success feel like their failure. Instead of celebrating you, they've become competitive, quietly wishing you'd slow down so they'd feel more relevant. They don't wish you harm, but they are a carrier of envy. And that's dangerous when you're carrying a fragile assignment from heaven. This one never criticizes you. But something about their presence drains your momentum. Every time you tell them your plans, something gets delayed. Every time you let them close, doors that were opening begin to slow. They don't speak death, but they weaken your clarity. They are a spiritual fog, and your future requires sunlight. This one is rare, but when revealed, it's undeniable. They smile. They check in. They act like they care. but they've spoken against you behind your back. They've sown doubt into others' ears. They've aligned with spirits not of God, and they've positioned themselves close, not to protect you, but to access what's on your life. If this person is the Judas, God will confirm it with evidence, exposure, and a severing. This is not a punishment. This is not betrayal for betrayal's sake. This is preservation. God isn't showing you their true role to leave you heartbroken. He's showing you so you can step into the next season uninterrupted. Because the miracle you've been praying for, the breakthrough, you've been fasting for the clarity, you've been crying for, it's on the other side of letting go of what no longer aligns. Even if they were helpful once, even if they comforted you in the past, even if their intentions aren't evil, God says, if they cannot carry the weight of your calling, they are not permitted to stay on the front row of your purpose. Child of God, it's time to pray differently. No more asking God to fix people who are unwilling. No more praying for comfort while standing in contaminated circles. Now, pray like this: God, if they are for me, confirm it. But if they are sent to delay me, reveal it. And if they are no longer part of my purpose, remove them in peace and protect my heart. You are not being harsh. You are being obedient, because what you're carrying, the assignment on your name, is too holy to be held in rooms that resent your growth. And the person marked by this is the moment of divine decision. You've heard the whisper. You've seen the signs. You feel it deep in your spirit. This isn't just coincidence. Heaven has placed a spotlight on someone close. And now you're standing at a crossroads. What do you do when God reveals a name? You don't panic. You don't gossip. You don't strike back in emotion. You move with spiritual precision. Because what's at stake now is not just your peace, it's your prophetic timeline. And here's what God is saying. This person may have walked with you, but they were never meant to walk you into the next season. So now, beloved, it's time to move. Not just emotionally, but spiritually, strategically, and obediently. Separation doesn't always mean confrontation. In fact, most spiritual separations happen silently. And that's how God wants this done, with dignity and without drama. Here are the 4 steps you must walk in. Ask the Holy Spirit for confirmation. God, was this truly from you? Is this person interfering with my destiny? Do I have peace when I envision releasing them? God is not the author of confusion, but he is the revealer of truth. If it's from him, he'll confirm it with repetition, peace, and revelation. You'll be tempted to remember their kindness, to downplay the red flags, to question what you felt. Don't. They may have been good once, but now they've shifted. And your spiritual survival requires you to accept what is, not what was. You want no long monologue. You don't need to tell them what God told you. You don't need to send a letter. You don't need to sit them down for a dramatic farewell. You need to protect your peace. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is simply create space and stop giving access. Once you've obeyed, seal it. Pray, God, I release them into your hands. I forgive what they said. I forgive what they hid. I choose peace over pain. And I walk forward covered in grace and guided by your voice. This is not about revenge. It's about realignment. You've separated, but now you must fortify. Because anytime a demonic connection is broken, the enemy looks for a way back in, especially through guilt, nostalgia, familiarity. That's why you must now activate spiritual boundaries. Here's how. Stop speaking about your future in front of them. Your vision is sacred. It does not belong in ears that aren't assigned. Cut off access to your emotional weak spots. If they know how to trigger your heart, they will try. Clean your environment spiritually. Pray over your home. Clean your phone. Delete old threads. Say aloud, I break every spiritual tie and soul access this person had to my life. This is not superstition. This is spiritual protocol. You're not just removing a person. You're removing the spiritual doorway they walked through. It hurts. Yes. Even divine separation comes with a sting. But what hurts now will heal later. And what would have hurt later, God just prevented now. You're not being cold. You're being called higher. You're not being paranoid. You're being positioned for protection. The person with the letter, they served a purpose, but their time is up. God is bringing new alignments. Voices that carry clarity. Connections that pour oil, not poison. People who don't just walk beside you. They cover and protect what's on you. So let them go. And don't look back. Because what's ahead will make peace for everything you had to leave behind. You did what was hardest. You obeyed. You silenced your emotions. You stepped out of familiar comfort. You said goodbye not just to a person, but to a pattern. And now, heaven responds. Because the moment you let go of the wrong person, God starts moving the right ones in. The silence you hear right now, it's not emptiness. It's alignment being written in the invisible. It's new voices being anointed to carry what the old ones contaminated. It's new relationships, appointments, assignments, and revelations being tailor-made for your future. You didn't lose anything. You made room. Let's be clear. God doesn't just subtract. He multiplies through subtraction. He prunes the branch, not to punish the tree, but so it can bear more fruit. You think that person filled a role that can't be replaced? Watch what happens next, because in the next few weeks, you will see conversations that feel like divine appointments, doors open that were once mysteriously blocked, peace returning to your spirit in the places where confusion once ruled, insight rushing in like a spiritual wind, bringing confirmation after confirmation. The person marked with R may have had history with you, but they didn't have destiny. And now that you've been released from emotional entanglement, God can finally show you what they were blocking. You may not have seen it, but heaven has assigned an angel of alignment over your next steps. This angel is now moving people out of the way, lining up divine connections, restoring what was delayed, speeding up what was slowed, rebuilding what was dismantled. Why? Because obedience is never ignored in heaven. Every tear you cried while letting them go, not one was wasted. It became oil. It became power. It became a currency exchanged in the spiritual realm for acceleration. And now, God is not just replacing what you lost. He's upgrading what you thought you needed. You're not returning to normal. You're entering into divine precision. You've heard the word. You've obeyed the voice. Now get ready for the evidence. In the next 30 days, expect a door to open that had been spiritually blocked, an unfamiliar name to become a divine helper, a confirmation so specific you will have no doubt God is speaking a revelation that brings deep healing to something you thought was buried, a financial sign of breakthrough that comes with peace. God isn't just going to bless you spiritually. He's going to bless you publicly. Because when you obey in secret, God rewards in the light. This isn't about you running away. This is about you being lifted out. You didn't escape someone. You completed an exchange. You traded confusion for clarity, pain for purpose, bondage for blessing. God saw what you were willing to lose, and now He's ready to release what you were always meant to gain. So get ready, because this final word is not a warning. It's a confirmation. You listened. You obeyed. And now, the right voices, right connections, right peace, right favor, and right resources are already being sent. You're entering the season of right people, right time, right doors. The letter R once carried the weight of a warning, but now it marks the rise of your release. Rise in peace, rise in clarity, rise in full awareness that obedience just opened heaven over your name.